Hello, this is Susan reading to you from the New Bedford Standard Times. Today is Thursday, October 23rd. In weather today, it will be mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 61 and a low of 42. Tomorrow, periods of clouds and sunshine with a high of 60 and a low of 41. Looking at the weekend, Saturday will be partly sunny with a high of 59 and a low of 38. And on Sunday, sunshine and a few clouds, a high of only 54 and a low of 39. On the front page today of the Standard Times, we have a photo of somebody picking apples, and the caption reads, Zachary Caluro picks Akane, I'm not familiar with that, A-K-A-N-E, apples, to make cider at Dartmouth Orchards on Old Westport Road in Dartmouth. In our top story, Fairhaven Special Town Meeting could advance new public safety complex by Matthew Ferreira, the Standard Times, USA Today Network. On November 19th, the town meeting members will vote on whether to fund a $50,000 site study for a potential public safety complex. As of Friday, October 17th, the finalized warrant for Fairhaven Special Town Meeting coming up November 19th has been posted. The 7 articles include one that seeks to fund a study for a new public safety complex and another that would raise fees at the Fairhaven Animal Shelter. All articles received unanimous approval to recommend adoption by the Select Board at its Tuesday, October 14th meeting, during which they reviewed each one and approved the warrant in its finalized form. Article 5 requests $50,000 from the town's Public Safety Complex Stabilization Fund for the hiring of a third-party consultant for the purpose of conducting a site evaluation and/or feasibility study for the potential police station or public safety complex, including options for leasing or purchasing property. Per the article's language, special town meeting approval would allow the funds to be expended under the direction of the town administrator with approval of the Select Board. The language giving the Select Board oversight on the funds expenditure was added in during the Board's final warrant review on October 14th at the request of member Andrew Saunders. This is a very important issue for the town that's going to lead to a vote of a debt exclusion from the town because we don't have the capital to build a public safety complex, Saunders said. And the numbers they're throwing around are anywhere between $50 million and $70 million, so it's a huge expenditure. Fairhaven's police and fire departments currently share a dual facility at 1 Bryant Lane, 146 Washington Street, with the town's emergency medical services being part of the fire department. According to fairhavenhistory.blogspot.com, Fairhaven Police and Fire first moved there in 1962. Article 7 requests a bylaw amendment that would increase the Fairhaven Animal Shelter's boarding and adoption fees. If approved, boarding fees, which are owed by pet owners when their animal has a stay at the shelter, will double from $25 a day to $50. Adoption fees would go from $200 to $300 for cats and from $300 to $600 for dogs. The idea behind this is the cost of operating the shelter is greater than the revenues we bring in, said Town Administrator Keith Hickey during the Select Board's warrant review. What the police chief is trying to do is proactively try to more balance the operating expenses for the animal shelter. The town is set to host its own review of special town meeting warrant articles on Thursday, November 13th at 7 p.m. at the Hastings Middle School Auditorium, 30 School Street. Residents will be able to watch the program live from home by tuning into Government Access Channel 18 or watch it streamed online at fairhaventv.com. To access the full warrant or for more information on Fairhaven's 2025 Special Town Meeting, visit fairhavenma.gov/event/special town meeting. And our other front page story, new life coming to 89 North Water Street. Historic building will become 19 apartments, by Catherine Gallerani, The Standard Times. The rehabilitation of the historic building at 89 North Water Street and its transformation into 19 apartments is progressing. While primarily in the hotel business, this is the second residential building Sean LaFrance has overseen as Director of Facilities for LaFrance Hospitality of Westport. He also led the renovation of the nearby 18 and Union residential project that has 28 new apartments and commercial spaces, namely the National Club and Beckman Building. He said it's a great spot and agrees that it's at the perfect elevation for apartments. It's a cool building, it's in a great location, and it's the first thing you see when you come down Route 18 at the first light, he said. LaFrance said he expects the project will be complete at the end of this year. Bristol Pacific, a general contractor based in Fall River, has been working on the rehabilitation of the historic building and is on site during construction. LaFrance was familiar with the contractor, having worked with Bristol Pacific on a hotel project in another town. They started from the top of the building and are working their way down, he said. Some of the electrical work has been done, most of the windows have been installed, and the bathrooms are in progress with the tiles going down. Elmwater Landing has 15 one-bedroom apartments and 4 two-bedroom apartments. The 4-story brick building built in 1884 was purchased by Franklin Hospitality Corporation for $1.7 million in June 2023. The restoration has been estimated at approximately $8 million. The Frederick A. Soule Building was constructed by Soule in 1884 and used as a shoemaking factory. There have been several owners through the years who have made use of the building as a manufacturing facility. Most recently, it was a craft burger restaurant. And on obituaries today, Anthem E. Brunette, Fairhaven, Mass. Anthem E. Brunette, 84, of Fairhaven, Massachusetts, passed away peacefully on October 7, 2025, in Fairhaven. A proud Navy veteran and dedicated fisherman, Anthem spent much of his life connected to the sea. His service to his country and his years on the water reflected a steadfast commitment to hard work and resilience. He was preceded in death by his beloved wife of 54 years, Sylvia M. Brunette. He is remembered by his 3 children, several grandchildren, and extended family. And on to other news. What spooky surprises awaited Elizabeth Tabor Library this Halloween? By David DeMille. From pumpkin decorating to haunted stacks and costume karaoke, the Elizabeth Tabor Library in Marion is offering a full slate of festive events this October, according to a community announcement. Library card holders can check out a free pumpkin to decorate, no carving allowed, and return it by 4 p.m. October 27th to enter the Great Pumpkin Contest. Pumpkins are available while supplies last, thanks to a donation from Fieldstone Farm Market. School gets out early October 23rd, which is today, and October 24th, and the library is scheduled to host early dismissal Lego days from 1 to 3 p.m. both days. Adults can drop in for a fall-themed crafts session at 10:30 a.m. October 25th. Options include making book pumpkins, cross-stitching patterns, or painting seasonal scenes. No registration required. The Haunted Library is expected to return starting October 27th, inviting visitors to explore spooky surprises hidden among the stacks. At 3 p.m. October 27th, students in grades K through 6 can use the kid-safe chomp saw to create custom cardboard masks. The Halloween fun wraps up with a costume karaoke party planned for 6 p.m. October 30th. All ages are welcome to sing, celebrate, and show off their costumes. For more information, visit the Elizabeth Tabor Library website or contact the library at etlibrary@salesync.org or 508-748-1252. The library is located at 8 Spring Street, Marion. And continuing with Halloween news, Haunted Houses Guide to Thrills and Chills on the South Coast by Faith Harrington. Halloween is quickly approaching, giving you only a few weeks to enjoy all of the airy, spooky fun before Christmas takes over. For those who enjoy being scared, there are a few haunted attractions in the area that are sure to make you scream. Grab a friend or two and spend a bone-chilling night at one of these South Coast attractions. Factory of Terror, 120 Pearl Street, Fall River, 7 to 10 p.m. Thursdays and Fridays, 6 to 10 p.m. Saturdays, and 6 to 9 p.m. Sundays, from now until Sunday, November the 2nd. General admission is $20 to $30, VIP $38 to $55, and includes VIP lounge and refreshments. Factory of Terror is an indoor haunted house located in a century-old factory. Through the use of cutting-edge special effects and professional horror actors, visitors will be immersed in a realistic world of fear and nightmares. Also, Feartown Haunted House, Seekonk Speedway, 1710 Fall River Avenue, Seekonk. Various times and days through November 1st, cost $25 to $35. There are 3 haunted houses that provide over 45 minutes of bone-chilling scares. Additionally, Feartown offers a midway filled with thrilling games, food, and entertainment. Hallow-Wiz, taking place at Water Whiz, 3031 Cranberry Highway in Wareham, starting at 6:30 p.m. Friday through Sunday through November the 2nd, and the cost is $34.99. There will be a twisted corn maze that will leave you turned around, an escape-style adventure, and a haunted house with live actors. They offer eerie drink and food specials available for purchase. The Lizzie Borden House Tours. Nightly at 7:30 p.m., Ghost Hunt Nightly from 10 p.m. to midnight. Lizzie Borden House is at 232nd Street, Fall River. The ghost tours that are at 7:30 are $25, and the ghost hunts at 10 p.m. are $40. Ghost Tours are a 90-minute tour of Fall River featuring its most riveting stories, bizarre history, and the tragic ending of the Borden family. This eerie outdoor walking tour is sure to have you looking over your shoulder. During Lizzie's Ghost Hunt, you can explore the infamous death house with your own ghost hunting equipment. See if you can uncover the secrets lurking within the Borden home and solve the mystery of what happened on that fateful day. Find out if you have what it takes to make it through the night. And still going with the Halloween theme, celebrate Halloween with Spooky Spaghetti by Sharon Rigsby, a special to the Tallahassee Democrat, part of the USA Today network. In the South, we believe no holiday should pass without something delicious on the table, and Halloween is no exception. This easy Halloween spaghetti turns an ordinary pasta dinner into a frightfully fun family favorite, with green noodles and meatball eyeballs that'll make everyone smile before trick-or-treating. For a lighter and more budget-friendly version, you can leave out the ground beef. You can also use 12 ounces of spaghetti instead of 16 for smaller portions. A few notes. Don't add the candy eyes until just before serving. They'll melt into a gooey mess, and remove them before storing in the refrigerator. Use a platter instead of a bowl so the eyeballs stay visible. For the spookiest effect, serve your Halloween pasta on a dark platter so the green spaghetti and eyeball meatballs really pop. Instead of candy eyes, you can make savory eyes from olives and mozzarella balls. Want even more Halloween flair? Sprinkle shredded mozzarella webs over the top of the sauce pasta and melt briefly under the broiler before adding the eyeballs. And ingredients for the spaghetti: 1 pound of ground beef or any ground meat, 1 24-ounce jar of spaghetti sauce, a 26-ounce bag of pre-cooked dinner-sized frozen Italian meatballs, about 26 meatballs, a 16-ounce box of spinach spaghetti, water and salt. Reserve 1/2 cup of the pasta water. And then 1/4 cup of large candy eyes, or as many eyes as the number of meatballs you're cooking. And then grated Parmesan. Basil garnish optional. Instructions for making the spaghetti: brown the meat in a large heavy-bottom skillet over medium-high heat, using a spatula to break it up into crumbles. Add the meatballs and let them brown slightly. Drain the excess grease and stir in the spaghetti sauce. Reduce heat to medium and simmer for 8 to 10 minutes until the meatballs are heated through and coated in sauce. Meanwhile, in a large pot, prepare the spaghetti according to the package instructions. Once the pasta's cooked, reserve a half cup of the water and drain the remaining water and arrange the pasta on your serving plate. If the sauce is too thick, add the reserved water and stir. Spoon sauce and meatballs over the pasta. Place a candy eye over each of the exposed meatballs. Sprinkle with Parmesan cheese and optional basil, and serve warm. And in What to Watch, George and Mandy's First Marriage. CBS at 8 p.m. Georgie's, Montana Jordan, upset when Mandy's, Emily Osment, new role as weekend weather girl gets her more attention from the men in town. Hell's Kitchen on Fox at 8 p.m. There may be too many cooks in the kitchen as the chefs battle for authority and respect in the new episode, A State of Confusion. Law and Order, NBC, 8 p.m. In the new episode, Brotherly Love, a respected restaurateur with a gambling problem is murdered, and Baxter and Price, played by Tony Goldwyn and Hugh Dancy, disagree on the best approach to a conviction. Ghosts, CBS, 8:30 p.m. A misplaced bookcase threatens Thor's, played by Devin Chandler Long, ability to deliver an important speech in the new episode Viking Wedding. 911 Nashville on ABC at 9 p.m. The team responds to a dangerous call of a child trapped in a trailer hanging off a historic Nashville bridge. Special Forces World's Toughest Test on Fox at 9 p.m. The recruits race in the blistering heat and then perform backward dives off a platform in the new episode Trust. Law & Order Special Victims Unit, NBC at 9 p.m. When a woman in active labor is abducted, the team looks to her doula for an account of events. And Grey's Anatomy on ABC at 10 p.m. A high-risk lung transplant pushes the surgical team to their limits in the new episode Between Two Lungs. Elsbeth on CBS at 10 p.m. When grief influencer Raquel Dabrowski, guest star Julia Fox, presumed dead husband makes a miraculous return, their reunion takes a fatal plunge. And finally, Greatest Mysteries Ever on the Travel Channel at 10 p.m. The mystery of Noah's Ark, believed to rest in the snow-covered mountains of Ararat in Turkey, has fascinated explorers for years. Two separate expeditions claim to have found the Ark in different locations, sparking debates on whether the story is myth or reality. And in horoscopes, we'll do the current horoscope for this time. Libra, people born between September 23rd and October 23rd. Time for your yearly values check. Put your money and energetic output under the microscope. And then starting tomorrow is Scorpio sign from October 24th to November 21st. You are a vessel of transformation. Can you feel the forces of renewal running through you? And finally, in the national news, government shutdown, one of the longest. Key dates approach for paychecks, ACA, more, by Joey Garrison, USA Today. Washington, the federal government shutdown is already one of the nation's longest at 23 days with no end in sight as Democrats and Republicans in Congress remain locked in a bitter stalemate. The shutdown has placed 750,000 federal workers on furlough, forced air traffic controllers and other essential workers to work without pay, and closed national parks, federal offices, and museums. In an escalation from past shutdowns, President Donald Trump has also laid off thousands of government employees and paused infrastructure projects in Democratic-led cities to try to pressure Democrats to act. Democrats continue to demand the extension of expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies and the reversal of Republicans' recent Medicaid cuts be included in a funding measure to reopen the government. Republicans insist the government should reopen with a clean bill that keeps spending levels the same. A handful of Senate Democrats have broken with their party to vote for a Republican-backed bill to fund the government, but not enough of them to reach the 60-vote threshold to overcome a Democratic filibuster. Here are key dates to watch as the shutdown marches on. Tomorrow, October 24th, federal workers are set to miss their first full paychecks if the government remains closed. Depending on their agencies, federal workers' next paychecks are scheduled for October 24th, October 28th, or October 30th. In all, more than 1.8 million paychecks will be withheld from civilian employees of federal agencies if the shutdown lasts through October, according to the Bipartisan Policy Center. Federal workers received their October 10th paychecks, but it was only their partial salaries because the pay period included 3 days of the shutdown, October 1st through the 4th. And on October 25th, Trump is set to depart Washington, D.C. for a multi-day, multi-country visit to Asia. That means if a deal to reopen the government is not reached by the weekend, then it would likely extend until Trump's return to the United States. Not only is Trump's involvement in negotiations widely seen as critical for a resolution, Trump must sign any funding bill to end the shutdown. It's unclear how long Trump will be out of the country, but the trip is expected to wrap up at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum in South Korea, which is set for October 31st and November 1st. There, Trump is scheduled to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping. On October 31st, members of the military received their October 15th paychecks, but it is unclear whether the government has the money for their next paychecks on October 31st. The nation's service members are considered essential workers who work without assurances of pay during shutdowns. The Department of War, at Trump's instruction, altered the Pentagon's budget to ensure they received their most recent paychecks on October 15th. But House Speaker Mike Johnson, R. Louisiana, said Trump's action to pay the nation's 1.3 million active duty military members on October 15th was only a temporary fix. If the Democrats continue to vote to keep the government closed, as they have done so now, then we know the U.S. troops are going to risk missing a full paycheck at the end of the month, Johnson said recently. October 31st and November 5th, staff members of U.S. senators missed their first paychecks on October 20th. They will miss their next checks scheduled for November 5th if the shutdown is still going on. House aides are paid once a month and risk missing their October 31st check. November 1st, Democrats have circled November 1st as a key deadline for Congress to extend the expiring Affordable Care Act credits as part of a bill to reopen the government. November 1st is when open enrollment for the Affordable Care Act begins, and millions of Americans will begin shopping for their 2026 health coverage plans. Finally, November 24th, members of Congress could also be motivated to reopen the government before their week-long Thanksgiving break begins on November 24th. But if the shutdown continues beyond the holiday, lawmakers are scheduled to return to Washington to work for the first 3 weeks of December. This has been Susan reading to you from the New Bedford Standard Times. Today is Thursday, October 23rd.